Hello. So today we are going to start the new module, which is called Module 5, and this module is composed of Chapter 7. Chapter 7 is the view part of our MVC. So we had models, we have controllers, and now we are going to talk about views. Uh, Views, and in this case we are talking about razor views, our razor engine. And what exactly is a razor view or a razor engine? That it is the part of your application that is responsible to display contents on the screen. So in the browser, whatever you see is basically returned by a view, by a razor view. And in simple layman terms, you can say it is nothing more than an HTML, but with added features by Microsoft. And that's why Microsoft is calling it Razor View. It is their brand product. We call them Razor Views. Now, what exactly are these Razor Views and how they fit into the entire MVC architectural pattern? So if you look, the request, the user make a request. The request goes through IIS. IIS is the Internet Information Server, which is responsible for hosting your web application. The IIS goes through the routing mechanism, try to find out that the user is requesting for home page. Through the route, it finds the home page, gets into the controller, which is you have seen and written a lot of them. The controller then see that, oh, let me give that home view or whatever view to the user. But then the view say that I need a model. So the controller goes back to the model, get the data from the model. The model could be database, it could be C# class. It brings the state of the data, give it back to the controller. The controller passes that model to the view, and the view is ready. Then the views come back to the controller. The controller gives it to the IIS. The IIS does whatever needs to be done. It 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 processes that response and turns everything up here, translate everything up here into HTML, plain HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, and you get things back here in the browser. Now this view is basically was the responsible component that is supposed to display the data for us. The views can have CSS, the views can have jQuery or JavaScript, and the view can have HTML. These three things are combined here: CSS, JavaScript, and HTML. And then the result returns back to the controller. The controller give it to IIS, and the user sees the response back into their browser. Now, if you want to dig deep a little bit more to understand what exactly are views, views is a fluid UI design, a fluid UI component that is responsible for displaying the data. When we say it is compact, compact will basically mean that you need less number of code, less number of correct characters to do what you were supposed to do in HTML. It is really easy to learn. It is not at all a new language. So you cannot say, oh, Razor View is a language. No, you can work in any HTML text. You can work in any text editor, like for HTML or JavaScript. And Visual Studio provide you great intelligence. When you start typing the dot, it will give you the required tag that needs to be used. Now let me show you a little bit of the example that how it look like and what we talked about. So this is a view. Views are here in the views folder. The name of this view is contactus.cshtml. This is the name. It has to be in view folder. If I am using home controller, then there should be home folder. If I am using error controller, then there should be an error controller folder. If I am using an add edit contents controller, then I have to have a folder for this. So while I'm going there, let me show you this thing. You see, I have an error controller in the controllers folder. I have an error folder. I have a role controller. I have a role folder. I have a media content controller. I have a media content folder. Remove the word controller from it. So this is by convention. That said, look into the view. What is a view? You see, this is all HTML, 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 but with integration of the Bootstrap classes. Bootstrap row, Bootstrap columns, and this is that razor view part. This is that razor view part. This is that razor view part. What exactly is, so whatever you see in this purple greenish color, that is basically the view, the razor view part. So as I said, this razor view phone number means what here? The phone number means something in the contact us view model. That model has been passed to this view along with the data, and then it starts using it, displaying it. So if I go back to this contact us view model and I say go to definition, you see here the name. These are called attributes. Phone number was one that I was going to use. So I say phone number. Then this phone number is basically up here, used up here. So label for, this is label. So it will display that label, and this is the input for, it will display that, and so on and so forth. So what else we need to know about razor view? We can combine C# code in it. Whenever we need to combine a C# code in it, we will use the @ symbol, and then we will start writing the C# code in a normal way. We will put these brackets, curly brackets, and inside it we will start writing HTML again. So this is a particular syntax that I am using. Wherever I am using @ symbol, it brings data from the model. It is part of the syntax, and this is the model that I pass to it. I can use similarly C#, the things that I need to use here, some classes that I need to use here, and I'm also injecting some different reCAPTCHA class up here, and that's it. Yeah. So I hope this helps you a little bit to understand what exactly are views.